Eyewitnesses described as an Israeli aircraft flying at very low altitudes, striking their targets with precision. According to reports, Iranian air defenses appeared unable to respond effectively, with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps seemingly lacking the missiles needed to engage the enemy planes. The bombing continued unabated for a full 24-hour period, stretching from Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Targets across Iran, naval bases and coastal positions. IRGC claimed that nearly 100 strategic targets were struck in the country's coastal areas, including a major naval base. The US military also targeted Iranian naval positions, with Iranian warships reportedly seen burning in several locations along the coast. Iranian coastal areas have been largely devastated by the sustained airstrikes, dealing a significant blow to the country's naval capabilities. Diplomacy amid the bombing. Talks in Islamabad. The intense military campaign comes at a critical diplomatic moment. Negotiations aimed at resolving the conflict are reportedly moving forward, with Pakistan serving as the host and mediator. The talks are expected to take place on Pakistani soil, following the framework proposed by Donald Trump. However, there is a significant twist in the diplomatic dynamics. According to Pakistani media reports, the Iranian delegation has expressed a desire to negotiate directly with the US vice president rather than with Trump's special envoy. Iran views the vice president as having maintained a more measured stance throughout the war, having refrained from authorizing military strikes against Iran. Observers suggest that Iran is testing whether the vice president, as a high-ranking leader, is willing to compromise in negotiations. Pakistani government officials have confirmed that they are working to facilitate the presence of both parties in Islamabad. While Pakistan is playing a central mediating role, other countries including Turkey, Egypt, the UK, and China have also positioned themselves as potential mediators, ready to step in once Washington and Tehran agree to formal negotiations. Military pressure and stalled negotiations. Sources note a clear contradiction between the diplomatic efforts and the military reality. Even as negotiations are being discussed, US and Israeli warplanes continue to pound Iranian targets. Many see the sustained bombing as a form of pressure on Tehran, aimed at forcing concessions at the negotiating table. At the same time, the United States is rapidly expanding its military footprint in the region. Additional marine and infantry forces experienced in rapid target capture are being transported to Central Command, as military planners have reportedly already drawn up plans to seize islands in the Gulf of Aden if Iran fails to comply with American demands, particularly regarding the dismantling of its nuclear program. Malaysian government sources have expressed concern that the increased military presence in the Gulf signals a potential operation to seize the Strait of Hormuz and surrounding islands from Iranian forces should the talks fail to produce a solution acceptable to Washington. Iran's retaliatory strikes. Missiles still flying despite the relentless bombardment. Iran has not remained silent. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps issued a statement claiming that its missile forces had launched the 80th wave of strikes targeting US and Israeli bases across the Middle East. The IRGC described these as preemptive strikes using long-range missiles, in response to the ongoing US and Israeli airstrikes. The statement did not specify the number of missiles and drones used, but it asserted that Iran was responding strongly and on a large scale, as military officials, however, downplayed the threat, claiming that Iran's missile capabilities are now less than 10% of what they were at the start of the conflict. Depleted missile arsenals. Intelligence reports. Israeli intelligence assessments paint a picture of a severely weakened Iranian missile force. According to these reports, a massive bombing campaign by US and Israeli air forces has destroyed approximately 1,500 Iranian ballistic missiles, leaving Iran with only a fraction of its original arsenal. Before the war broke out on February 28th, Iran was estimated to possess nearly 3,000 missiles. In the first week of the conflict, Iran fired more than 100 ballistic missiles per day at its bases in Iraq. That rate has since dropped to fewer than 20 per day. However, military analysts note that many of the missiles now being used are ICBMs intercontinental ballistic missiles that are more powerful and harder to detect by air defense systems. Iranian drones remain a part of the attack strategy, though Arab countries in the region have announced that their air defense systems have recently intercepted almost all Iranian drones and shot down the majority of incoming missiles. Conclusion. War and diplomacy in tandem. As Tuesday night gave way to Wednesday morning, Iran found itself caught between two realities. On one hand, its territory was being pummeled by US and Israeli warplanes, its naval assets destroyed, and its missile stockpile severely depleted. On the other hand, diplomatic channels remain open, with Pakistan working to bring both sides to the table. Whether the talks will lead to a ceasefire or merely serve as cover for continued military operations remains unclear. What is evident is that the United States is increasing its military pressure while simultaneously entertaining negotiations, a dual-track strategy that may be designed to force Iran into accepting terms it would otherwise reject. With thousands of additional US troops pouring into the region and plans for island seizures already drawn up, the coming days will determine whether diplomacy can outpace the march toward all-out war.